has a design pressure of 70 bar and a test pressure of 105. This system is mostly based on level switches in the expansion tank and pump tanks. On either side of the steering gear is hydraulic power units. One on the port, one on the starboard. Right here is the port. This is the one I will be using as an example. It consists of one oil tank, a pump, a motor, and a filter. The pump and motor are connected with a flexible coupling, as you can see there. The constant delivery pump has a capacity of 1335 liter per minute at 1800 RPM and 20 bar pressure. The electric motors are 40 volt, 3-phase, 60 hertz with 1780 revolutions per minute and have a start current of 940 amps and a nominal current of 140 amps. Now, in regards to the steering gear test, the steering gear test is done before entering and leaving any port, and it is done in accordance with 33 CFR 164.25. To initiate the test, the deck department will call down to the engine control room and they will say, hey, let's start one of the tests. So one of the engineers will come back to the steering gear room, which is all the way aft on the mid-level of the engine room. And the first thing to do is read the gyro repeater number. This is found up here. So right now it's only about 180, maybe 178. Then the engineer or myself, who usually conducts the test, will come over to the telephone and call the mate on the bridge and exchange gyro repeater numbers. This is to make sure that both gyro repeaters here and on the bridge are sufficient and have the same number. Next, the deck department will start to adjust the rudder angle. This can be seen on the rudder angle indicator up there and up here with the hydraulic ramps. Right there. While they are moving the rudder angle, I will be walking around behind. I wouldn't go on top, but just check everything, make sure everything's looking good. There's no leaks in the pipe, there's no abnormal noises, etc. Pressure gauges are looking good, the hydraulic ramps are looking good. The rudder angles are looking all right here and on top, like I mentioned. One thing in particular that we will look for is, like I mentioned before, each hydraulic unit has a filter. On each filter is a differential pressure meter. See right here. Every time the rudder angle is adjusted, this drops a little bit. If it were to drop all the way to the red, there, that would indicate that there's a clog in the filter. This could also indicate that the fluid is too cold, hence why it is not moving as quickly. In that case, you would just have to let the system warm up a little bit. This happened recently, a few days ago, when we were leaving shipyard to Lithuania. It was very, very cold. Once the mate on the bridge who's conducting the test is, feels like it's a good job, feel like the test is done, they will call down on the sound-powered phone. We use both phones to ensure that communication with the bridge is always good with every phone down here. Because God forbid there was an emergency situation, you wouldn't want to find out the phones are broken in an emergency situation. Hence why we test it now. So he'll call, we'll confirm time for the test, and we'll go about our separate ways. The time then goes into the logbook in the control room and on the bridge. And then usually after the steering gear test, we'll test the EOT when applicable, but obviously that is a whole separate thing. So like I pointed out, the hydraulic ramps are on top, piping to the hydraulic units are here. The rudder stop, I am currently working on greasing, which is taking about 5 days, but that's okay. And yeah, on either side of the steering gear, like the hydraulic units, there are the frequency inverters for said hydraulic units. Behind me on the forward bulkhead are the starters for both units as well. And yeah, typically we do not have local control, but in an emergency emergency situation, which is most likely the only time we do local control, we would have to first establish communication with the bridge, and that's why we have these headsets here for the accompanying phone. Because if it's just you back here and you gotta be on the phone with the bridge all the time to get your commands, you gotta have the headset on so you can run around here. So for this example, let's say we're using the port hydraulic units. This is because in an emergency situation, we would use the port only because it's run on the EDG, hence the emergency source power. So to begin, we have communication with the bridge, then we go over to the starter panel, and we will turn this switch to local control. Then next we will go to the frequency inverter panel for said pump, and we will change it to direct on line. This is changing the power feed to our desired pump. Of course, when this is going on, the pump must be off, but then after that, we'll come over and start our pump with, said controls. In local control, you would steer with these buttons, which you can look up here, accompany that. But if this was an emergency situation, which, like I said, would probably be the only reason we would be doing this, you would come up and use the emergency control system, which will consist of pressing in this relief valve below here. So you press that while steering with this and reading the rudder angle indicator while having the headset on, because, like I said, Mate on the Bridge will be giving you commands. I actually have done this. It was obviously simulated, but it's very hard to hear with the headset, so it's very important to pay attention and not be talking to someone while you're doing this. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up. This is Steering Gear. My name is Grace McGee.